Hello everybody and welcome back to the Clio Cup Series and welcome to the final race of the 2023 season. If you didn't join us yesterday, you missed out on arguably what was one of the best races of the season, because what Gabriele Torelli has done almost single-handedly now at this point is keep the championship alive in Clio Cup Europe. He has closed the gap to only, 21 points, I believe it is, between himself and Clio Cup Series champion for 2023, David Pouget, and all will be decided this afternoon. As long as David Pouget finishes in the top 7 of the Clio Cup Europe runners, we will see him crowned double champion for this season. Myself, Jack Worrell, once again running you through the action, but for the final time this season. In terms of drivers to look out for, naturally has to be that man there, our pole sitter, car number 12, Gabriele Torelli for Rejoignez-nous. He has been quick and quicker all season, has Gabriele. He's been getting more and more wins and picking up as many points as possible. David Pouget lines up alongside him. Adrian Schimpf with a very good qualifying 2 this morning puts him on the second row of the grid. Alex Finkelstein yesterday, we saw him up there in the top 10 for a long time, and the mechanical issue unfortunately plagued its way into that car, meaning that he could literally just about take the checkered flag, get classified, but then had to pull the car straight over. However, this morning, back in qualifying, he was for a short while up in P5, however he has had a time deleted, meaning he will start in P9, so keep an eye on Alex. He is here this weekend with his partner Yanis, and I'm sure baby Noah is watching at home. We also have, who do we have that is definitely worth keeping an eye on? Florian Venturi. He's a little bit further down. He is currently starting P17, Alexander Finkelstein P9. The pair of those two will be fighting away for the Clio Cup France Challengers Cup title. So whoever finishes in front is whoever gets that title. But Adrian Schimpf, again, picking up big points throughout the season. You'll have to keep an eye on him. There's still lots of championships up for grabs. So in Clio Cup Europe, David Pouget comes into the final race on 646 points. Gabriele Torelli on 619 points. Gerardo a little bit further back on 536. So Pouget and Torelli, the ones you need to be watching for Clio Cup Europe. In Clio Cup Europe Challengers Cup, Adrian Schimpf has already got that one on 280 points compared to his twin brother, Alejandro Schimpf, who starts this race on 198. When we look back at the Clio Cup Europe Racers Cup, there's only 10 points separating the top 2, Luca Franca and René Stiemetz. Luca on 247 and René Stiemetz on 237 points, so not much between the pair of those two. Whereabouts do they start? Luca Franca is starting in P7, and René Stiemetz, whereabouts is René? He's down in 22nd place. What is it in fact now 21st, as Jeremy Bordegaray has unfortunately withdrawn due to personal reasons, so obviously we hope all is well with Jeremy. Stefan Polderman as well, he's only 1 point back from René Stiemetz in Clio Cup Europe Racers Cup. So we've got Luca Franca on 247 points, René Stiemetz on 237 points, Stefan Polderman 236 points, and still arguably in with a shout is Lionel Vigueur. He's on 222 points, and if all goes to pot in that top 4, Benjamin Kovas on 116 points is still just about there as well. Who else do we have maybe slightly further down? Clio Cup Spain, Adrian Schimpf for 356 points compared to his twin brother Alejandro Schimpf 314, so whilst the fight can still go on, Adrian just needs to finish well, and he will be crowned Clio Cup Spain champion. Clio Cup España Challengers Cup, again the twin brothers fighting away. Adrian Schimpf on 176, Alejandro on 152 points. Again, Adrian just needs to finish pretty well, and he will pick up the required amount of points. Jeremy Bordegaray came into this round leading the Clio Cup España Racers Cup quite a substantial way in front of Alejandro Romero. Even though Jeremy has withdrawn, he will still pick up that cup, you would imagine. Clio Cup France, already David Pouget, he comes into this round on 450 points. Nicolas Millar on 438, so David will be looking to pick up some more points to extend that lead margin. In terms of Clio Cup France, we mentioned it earlier, tied on 183 points. Alexander Finkelstein and Florian Venturi, both on 183 points, so it is between the pair of those two. Who finishes in front of each other is how they will finish in the championship. So here is the grid. Gabriele Torelli and Rejoignez-nous line up on pole position. David Pouget alongside. Adrian Schimpf starts in third with Nicolas Melin for company on row 2 of the grid. Row 3 is Anthony Girardo and Luca Franca lining up alongside. Pierre Bedot lines up in 7th place with Alejandro Schimpf starting in 8th. Alex Finkelstein in 9th, and starting in 10th is Damiano Puccetti. Florian Corribles starts in 11th with Jordi Palomas alongside. Thomas Becker starts in 13th place. Alexandre Boui starts in 14th. Stefan Poldman in 15th. Jacopo Giuseppe Ximenez has Florian Venturi for company 16th and 17th. And then it is Giulia Bazarai, Cristian Ricciarini and Alex Royo starting in 20th place. Jeremy Bulgarai unfortunately has withdrawn from the race, so on his own on row 11 of the grid is René Stemers. Then it is Benjamin Kovas, Guillaume Mayo, followed then by Ludovico Longini, Alejandro Romero, Fabian Julia, Lionel Vigor. Orn starts in 29th place, looking to hopefully finish the race today. Unfortunately had to retire yesterday. Calvin Comte starts in 30th, followed then by Gerard Rostand, Vinny Schunker, David Pajot, Jean-Louis Corposin. Then it is Michael Fey, Joaquin Rodrigo and Lydia Samper starts in 37th with Samuel Chalin right on the very tail end of the grid. And trying to figure out exactly why. I can only assume it's because he was past the maximum qualifying time. Let's see if he's there. Yes, he is. So the max quali time was sort of 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Samuel Chalin 2 minutes and 18, presumably with some sort of issue in qualifying this morning. However, he has been placed on the very tail end of the order. Gabriele Torelli, the only driver this morning to break into the 2-minute barrier by quite some margin as well. Pole margin by over half a second. We know how important the aerodynamic assistance is in these Clio Cup RS line cars. So we may end up seeing David Pouget really start to bring the fight to Gabriele Torelli. Obviously he wants to win his second championship this weekend. He's already been crowned Clio Cup Series champion. Can he be Clio Cup Europe champion as well, and Clio Cup France? The race is very much on for David Pouget. If you are new to the Clio Cup, all of the cars are identical. They are a Renault Clio RS line sort of chassis. They are absolutely identical in that regard. So too are the engines, transmission, wheels, dimensions and weight. They all produce around about 200 brake horsepower with 300 newton meters of torque from their Renault HR13 engine, which is a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, and they all run a Michelin Pilot Sport Cup tyre as the cars go out onto their green flag warming up lap. There are also various standings within the Clio Cup Series itself. So we have Clio Cup Europe, Clio Cup Italia, Clio Cup France, Clio Cup Mid-Europe and Clio Cup España as well. If you wish to compete in two, one of them can be one of the regionals, so whether that be Italia, France, Mid-Europe or España. The other one can be Europe, and if you just want to compete in one, obviously you have your choice of those. So there are 4 regional titles up for grabs, 1 European title. Within those 4 regional titles there are also the Cups. So the Challengers Cup, which we mentioned earlier, that's for drivers between 16 and 25 years of age as of January 1st this year, and drivers over 26 years old with a minimum of 10 experience. In terms of the Racers Cup, that is for drivers over 26 years old, having less than 10 years of experience in motorsport, or having never achieved a better result in the race than 5th in the general ranking. And of course there are some very, very big prizes up for grabs as well. I think it's 270,000 euros of race and championship bonuses distributed throughout the season, and they're distributed usually race by race. So the overall classification, if you finish first overall, you get 800 euros, second overall, you get 600, and sort of similar in the challenges and the races, 200 if you win the challenges, 300 if you're in the races. So it's a nice little motivation point for the drivers in case you do need any spare parts or anything like that. Say if you get a little bit greedy in pushing a car up the road and you need to treat yourself to a new front bumper, that can be done with some of the prize money that you've won throughout the season. Thankfully, we've had very few wet races throughout this season, whilst during the in the dry we run a Michelin Pilot Sport Cup. A hard tyre in the wet. We've got some brilliant Michelin Pilot Sport treaded tyres which really do distribute the water as well as possible. We kicked off the season at Nogaro in France. We then went to Monza, Magny-Cours, Spa, Hungaroring, Misano, Nürburgring, Red Bull Ring, Valencia, Paul Ricard, Zandvoort, Imola, and we are now rounding out the season here at Barcelona. And what a season it has been, not only for Clio Cup Europe but the Clio Cup Series itself. 9 race meetings have almost been completed in the Clio Cup Europe calendar, and both Clio Cup France and Clio Cup Spain round out to their 2023 season here at the finale. And now we're just waiting for the drivers to come round onto the grid. Already pulling up and towards his grid slot is Gabriele Torelli, working as much temperature into those Michelin Pilot Sport tyres as possible, followed then by David Pouget. Of course, he's already won one championship this year. He wants to add to that tally. Adrian Schimpf, after a brilliant qualifying this morning, will be looking to convert a good qualifying into a potential overall podium and yet another win in the Challengers Cup. Alex Finkelstein, he's got the brilliant GPA racing team backing him, so we may end up seeing that car work its way forward after. I'm sure the mechanics have been working hard to get that car back and ready for the race today. And I've got to say, even after a full season of racing, every single car on the grid is beautifully turned out. The teams do a brilliant job at making sure these cars are race ready, and Renault have worked tirelessly to ensure that the season goes on without a hitch. And we are finally here to round out the season at Catalunya. The final couple of cars working their way into position, and we will get the final 25 lap plus one, or 25 minutes plus one lap race underway. Into position comes the 133 of Samuel Chalin, the final car to grid up. We wait for the red lights to go on, which they will do now. So as we work our way through the lights, who will get the best start? Will it be Gabriele Torelli? Will it be David Pouget? It's Adrian Schimpf that gets a brilliant start. Torelli gets a lot of wheel spin. That should bring David Pouget up and alongside. No, it doesn't. David Pouget has to dive over to what is the left-hand side just to try and sneak his way through. Adrian Schimpf has had a brilliant start and he's already trying to carve his way even further up in towards the top three. Flicking over to the very right-hand side of the circuit, left-hand side of the screen. That was Nicolas Millat, so he's pushing forward as well. Adrian Schimpf all the way around the outside, manages to pick up second place. Late on the brakes, David Pouget fights back, however, pinches him in towards the apex. So Gabriele Torelli still leading. David Pouget finds himself in second place and remaining there. Nicolas Millat potentially up into third. Adrian Schimpf, after a good start, very aggressive, tried to get around the outside of David Pouget. That meant it dropped him back into, yes, fourth place. Anthony Girardo has picked up fifth. Pierre Brebeau in sixth. At the moment, Luca Franca makes up seventh place in the leading Racers Cup car. So we look back to our race leaders, and already Torelli and Pouget are starting to pull away. And for the moment, it looks like Gabriele Torelli is just managing that gap at the front. Yes, he is, but having to go slightly defensive as well. On the brakes they will go up through the left-hander at Worth, and then you arrive at Kamsa. It's almost a blind right-hander that's so crucial as it leads onto the back straight. David Pouget pushing harder and harder, trying to work his way through. Alex Finkelstein, we said keep an eye on him. He's already up, what, 4 places into fifth at the moment. So Alex is on a charge. He wants to win that Challengers Cup for Clio Cup France. We've got a car very wide in the background. Gabriele Torelli dives to the inside to go as defensive as possible. David Pouget with a big lock-up, potentially feeling the pressure from Nicolas Millat. Adrian Schimpf has already managed to fight his way back up into fourth. He doesn't want to come under too much pressure from Girardo, which is what's happening at the moment. You can see him in the background, so he's fourth to the lead. Nicolas Millat up the inside of not only David Pouget, but also Gabriele Torelli in towards the lead. Nicolas Millat, what a move, heading in towards the final couple of corners. So the number 5 Castrol car up into the lead. Torelli down to second. Adrian Schimpf has managed to pick off David Pouget, and David is now down into fifth place. He was fighting for the lead just a few moments ago. He's now got his GPA Racing teammate just sat behind. We did see there Stefan Polderman has pulled off towards the right hand side towards pit exit, so Nicolas Millat down towards turn 1. Will he remain in the lead? Potentially so, as Torelli is looking to the inside. On the brakes they will go, the rear axle squirming away trying to find grip, but it is Nicolas Millat in the lead of the race, followed then by Gabriele Torelli. Then it is Adrian Schimpf and Anthony Girardo. David Pouget is still being hunted down by his GPA Racing teammate Alex Finkelstein. Pierre Brebeau has been very quick this weekend, but is currently sat there in 7th place. Luca Franca in 8th. Jordi Palomera, after a brilliant race yesterday, is sat there in the top 10 and on the cusp of picking up a couple more places. And Luca Franca has sneaked his way through and past Pierre Brebeau on the inside of Repsol. And now we've got Torelli under ever more pressure because Nicolas Millat has edged his way back up the inside, so they swapped around very briefly. Torelli had regained the lead
but as Nicolas Millau fought back and edged his way back up the inside, that has allowed Adrian Schimpf to pick up second place now, or has it? Because on the brakes they're still side by side as they head through Worth. Back up the hill they will go. Torelli will have to cut the corner, so too will a couple of cars behind. So Torelli finds himself down into third place, potentially into fourth, as all the way around the outside goes Anthony Girardot, somehow finds the grip. So it is Nicolas Millau leading the race, followed then by Adrian Schimpf and Anthony Girardot. Gabriele Torelli down to fourth, pardon me. David Pouget remains in fifth. You can see that car squirming away in the background as he tries to get the car slowed down. Alex Finkelstein is doing what he can to remain with that top six. And Torelli back under pressure now from David Pouget, so maybe more positions to be lost for David Pouget whilst all this is going on. Nicolas Millau and Adrian Schimpf are doing what they can to run away at the head of affairs. Further back, the mid-pack is really starting to warm up. Car number 91, Luca Franco, is currently leading the leading Racers Cup car in 13th, ahead of Alex Royal and René Stiemetz. Back over the line go top six. Nicolas Millau remains in the lead ahead of Adrian Schimpf. Anthony Girardot already starting to close up onto Adrian Schimpf. Alejandro Schimpf, the second of the Schimpfs, has picked up the fastest lap of the race, leaving the pit lane. However, that is one of the back markers. Can't quite pick out exactly who that is, but has already jumped out of the way and seen the chasing pack get closer. Gabriele Torelli is starting to put Anthony Girardot under ever more pressure, and I think he's starting to feel that now as David Pouget is slowly starting to drop back. Here's a replay of the start. It was a good start from Alex Finkelstein. He managed to work his way through and past Alejandro Schimpf, had a car bouncing its way down the grass in avoidance, trying not to make contact with a couple of cars heading towards the line. And then Nicolas Millau, very, very aggressive, right over, using pit exit, pardon me. Adrian Schimpf goes all the way around the outside of David Pouget, but gets edged onto the curb. That affects the momentum and he can't hold on around the outside, and that was why there was contact further back, and that was between Stéphane Polderman and Alexandre Albury. So he didn't pull over, but he had no choice. Both Albury and Polderman found themselves spurring towards the barrier. Thankfully they managed to get that cleared up just under localised yellow flag, so Nicolas Millau still leading the race ahead of Adrian Schimpf. Gabriele Torelli is back up into third. He managed to pick the pocket of Anthony Girardot. David Pouget sat there in fifth place. Alexander Finkelstein in sixth for the moment, and is still not really under pressure from anybody further back. Adrian Schimpf late on the brakes, dives up the inside of Nicolas Millau, heading into Lakaya and into the lead of the race. So Adrian Schimpf, the overall leader at the moment for AST competition, exactly what he would want to do on home soil at the final race of the 2023 Clio Cup Series season. Adrian Schimpf into the lead. Let's get a replay. So he sold the dummy. Nicolas Millau didn't feel the need to go defensive, but Adrian Schimpf, he was so late on the brakes, got the inside, got the apex and position made. That almost brought Gabriele Torelli into the mix. He dived on the brakes just to avoid contact, but now as they cross the line, they're side by side, so he could be Gabriele Torelli into second place. Nicolas Millau has to go defensive. A flash of the lights from Torelli as he is still being hunted down by Girardot, and Nicolas Millau has dropped right the way down to fourth place now after being in the lead at the start of this lap. And all the way around the outside goes Torelli. He's fighting Adrian Schimpf as best he can. Anthony Girardot not far away at all. He's now drawn himself up and alongside Adrian Schimpf. So Torelli back into the lead. Adrian Schimpf somehow holding on to that position. Still sat there in second place, or is he? Because Girardot will be forced a long way around. We've seen it happen throughout this race so far. They're still side by side. So Adrian Schimpf on the inside as they work their way through Repsol, and he manages to fend off the attentions of Anthony Girardot. And for the moment we will just wait and see what happens in terms of this top four. So it is Adrian Schimpf has been hit very, very hard by, who was that? That was Nicolas Millau, unfortunately. So Nicolas Millau finds himself potentially under pressure from the race director. Anthony Girardot is sat there now in second place. David Pouget in third. Gabriele Torelli in the lead of the race, blissfully unaware of everything that's gone on behind. So Torelli turned in, and then Adrian Schimpf, no, so apologies Nicolas Millau, it was Anthony Girardot that pitched him into a spin, and that meant that Nicolas Millau went bouncing all over the grass and the gravel. So Gabriele Torelli is back in the lead of the race, followed then by Anthony Girardot. David Pouget in third. Adrian Schimpf, after being collected by Girardot, finds himself down in fourth place. Damiano Pochetti is in fifth, followed then by Florent Couble and Jordi Palomeras. What of Alex Finkelstein? Whereabouts has he gone? So I can't quite see it. Florian Venturi is sat there in 15th place. We'll wait for it to come through. Back over the line goes Gabriele Torelli. Where is Alex Finkelstein? He has disappeared, and he's not in the position he was just a few moments ago. I can't see him in the pit lane. Is that the end to the Clio Cup Challengers title for Finkelstein? Maybe some sort of mistake. I have a look back and I still haven't seen him come through. But back down towards leaders, Gabriele Torelli is still leading the race ahead of Girardo quite comfortably. David Pouget sat there in third for the moment. And Adrian Schimpf still under pressure now from Damiano Pacetti. That is for the lead in what would be the Challengers Cup in this race. Damiano Pacetti after a brilliant race yesterday. And who's that that's gone off? That is the 44 of Venice Schunker for T2CM. That was on the exit of Elf, heading in towards the left-hander before you arrive at the long right of Renault and into the pit lane. And so unfortunately for Alex Finkelstein, what a rotten weekend for him. It looked like he was going to pick up the Clio Cup France Challengers Cup. Unfortunately, doesn't look like that will be the case anymore. Florian Venturi is in 16th and will pick up enough points to get that championship. And we've had contact further back. That is the number 33 of Michael Fay pointing the wrong way. We did have another car, couldn't quite pick out exactly who that was. That is the number 8 of Joaquin Rodrigo. So Michael Fay for GM Sport.
Heavy damage on the front of that car, heavy damage on the rear of that car as well. What has gone on in the moments we were away? So Michael Fay up the inside. No, there was no contact between himself and Joaquin Rodrigo, and also involved was the number 25 of Alexander Albui. He will have yet more damage on that car after he had damage earlier on with whilst being involved in another accident. It means that we've got a couple of cars, I'm sure, that are limping round with a little bit of damage. Our leader back over the line, Gabriele Torelli, with a massively handsome margin over Anthony Girardo. David Pouget in third place under pressure from Adrian Schimpf. We've got two good cars working their way down the back straight and in towards the hairpin. Obviously they will want to get back into the pit lane as soon as possible. Girardo, you can see he's under pressure from David Pouget, who in turn is under pressure from Adrian Schimpf. And whilst all this is going on, Damiano Pacetti will be rubbing his hands together. He will see the three cars up the road fighting away, and he'll be hoping they just continue to cost themselves time with what's 14 minutes plus 1 lap still to go. We do have to breathe out on the circuit, so the drivers will have to bear that in mind before they arrive at any sort of localised yellow flags or slippery surface flags. Luca Franco up into 6th place now in the number 91, so he's doing very well in the Racers Cup ahead of René Stiemetz, who's right the way down in 14th overall. However, still a brilliant performance from René Stiemetz. And I thought that Uruguay had withdrawn due to personal reasons. That's the information that got fed to me. However, he is classified in 17th place, the number 31 machine, so he might still be able to do something about the Schimps. However, Adrian Schimpf, the 113, still sat there in 4th place. Alejandro Schimpf sat there in 12th at the moment, so they're doing very well indeed. We have the very wounded number 33 of Michael Fay in the pit lane. So GM Sport, will they go to work to get him back out, or will they call it there and say this car cannot go back out? And looking at that, yep, out of the car comes Michael Fay. There is Adrian Schimpf. He is sat there in 4th place at the moment. Gabriele Torelli continuing to pull away, looking to make it 2 from 2 at the moment. David Pouget is doing everything he needs to do. Sat there in 3rd place. That will give him enough points to win Clio Cup Europe. Car number 91 has been given a black and white flag for disrespecting track limits. That is Luca Franco. He said he was going well. Has he been going well, but illegally over those track limits? Gabriele Torelli, as we say, over the line once again. He has completed 6 laps now, on to his 7th he will go. Girardo still just about sat there in 2nd place. Pouget will be doing everything he needs to do. He has to finish 7th in Clio Cup Europe to remain in the championship fight. However, Adrian Schimpf late on the brakes, dives up the inside. Damiano Pacetti has to take to the escape route as he was going to cut the corner. He also takes a follow on, looks to throw that into the middle of the circuit, but David Pouget still going to be crowned champion if he remains as he is, if he finishes in the top 7 overall. guaranteed champion, and then after he drops down a little bit further, it gets a bit more complicated. He needs to finish in the top 7 in the Clio Cup Europe as well. However, at the moment, 4th place will do. Damiano Puccetti doing well enough. Let's get a replay. I think we're about to get to what potentially happened at turn 1. Yes, it is. So this is Adrian Schimpf. He collected a little bit of debris, but on the brakes down into turn 1, the AAST competition driver, still leading the Challengers Cup, puts an all-important car between himself and Damiano Puccetti, and wants to pick up another Challengers Cup win here at Barcelona. There is Anthony Girardo, this time with a little bit of breathing room and a couple of cars lengths between himself and Adrian Schimpf. David Puget, as we say, still sat there in 4th. Damiano Puccetti in 5th. Luca Franca sat there in 6th place, followed by Florian Kubler and Jordi Palomeras, with 11 minutes of the race still to go, plus 1 lap. We could end up seeing yet more changes at the very tail end of the field. Just having a look to see who we might have moving a little bit further down, because we always try and keep an eye on what is going on. At the moment, we've got some very close battles, mainly between David Pajot and Ludovico Longini. As they crossed the previous time meeting, there was 65,000 between Longini and Pajot, and Julian Bazarai was only 14,000 away. They crossed the line absolutely as one. There's nothing between them. Once again, they take another lap in the book. You can see it in the background just how close the field is. You can also see Jordi Palomeras. He's trying to work his way through past Florian Kubler. He can't quite get the move done, heading down in towards turn 1. David Puget there, his best lap at 2 minutes 2.442. Still sat there in 4th place. He knows he doesn't need to attack hard. Into the pit lane comes the number 99 of Guillaume, so unfortunately that's another GM Sport car potentially into retirement. Late on the brakes, Luca Franca had a little look at the inside of the number 43 of Damiano Puccetti. However, is that an issue for that car, or was it a lock-up? Because he seemed to carry on with a lot of tyre smoke being emitted from that car. It was a very substantial lock-up if it was, but it potentially looked like some sort of issue. He just couldn't get that car slowed down. There is Gabriele Torelli now, 3.1 seconds clear, 3.7 seconds clear of Adrian Schimpf, because David Puget has also picked up another place and he's back onto the overall podium. He's picked the pocket of Anthony Girardo. Whilst all this is going on, it allows Luca Franca to work his way closer and closer to the sparring trio at the moment. Adrian Schimpf will be doing everything he can just to run away. David Puget still sat there in 3rd, followed then by Anthony Girardo. Luca Franca is there or thereabouts. Anthony Girardo back up the inside of David Puget. Can he get the move done? Yes, he can by the time they make it to the apex. So David Puget sat there now in 4th place once again. Girardo already trying to pile the pressure onto Adrian Schimpf, who's doing everything he needs to do at the moment. He is the leading Clio Cup España driver. Anthony Girardo is racing in both the European and the Mid-Europe Championship at the moment. David Puget clear of the France in Europe. We're trying to figure out the next Spanish driver that he will get to, or the next driver that is racing in Clio Cup España. Luca Franca is both clear of the Europe and Clio Cup Italy. The wing mirror flies off Gabriele Torelli. We're dangling out for a short while. Girardo around the outside, he gives it a go, but can't quite get the car slowed down. Can he find the grip on the outside? No, he can't. So Adrian Schimpf remains in 2nd place. Anthony Girardo remains in 3rd. David Puget has got the best seats in the house in 4th or 5th. Make that now, because Luca Franca up the inside goes Luca. So the number 91 machine for MC Mototecnica picks up 4th place overall and remains in the lead of the Racers' Cup quite substantially as well, because the next car is René Stiemetz down in 15th place. In terms of Anthony Girardo, what is he trying to do? He's now under pressure from Luca Franca. Luca had a look at the inside, maybe trying to force a mistake. Anthony Girardo is trying to attack and defend all at the same time. He wants to work his way past Adrian Schimpf, which he does now, which he goes to have a look at now, but Luca Franca is keeping him occupied as he's trying to have a look at the inside as well. Flashing the hazard lights there from Anthony Girardo, maybe trying to communicate in some sort of way to Luca Franca, get him to back off and maybe work together to try and catch up to Adrian Schimpf. Torelli has long since been forgotten, 4.5 seconds clear of everything that's going on behind him. So well and truly in the lead is Torelli. And of course, the Italian has made marks on this championship throughout this season. He's the Clio Cup Mid-Europe champion. He's so close to the Clio Cup European champion. However, David Pouget, sat there in 5th place, is still doing everything he needs to. He's scoring the requisite points to still be Grand Clio Cup Europe champion. Nicolas Milan, we saw him leading for a short while. He spent a long time in 2nd, a bit of time in 3rd. He's currently down into 7th at the moment, so not quite the race he was expecting. Thomas Packard has been getting quicker throughout the season, remaining in the top 10 throughout. Torelli back over the line, 4.8 seconds clear of Adrian Schim. Gerardo is getting closer and closer as he's managed to shake off a little bit of attention from Luca Franca. David Pouget not far away at all. There's number 25, Alexandre Albouy. We saw him in contact earlier on, and that was with Guillaume Mayo, one of the cars I think he collected. He's going to be that car back. Gerardo now jumps to the left, jumps to the right, lays on the brakes, forces the door away with Adrian Schim. Adrian sideways once again, gets the moment collected up, goes over the gravel. Will that be 2nd place? He has to hand back, potentially not. He managed to rejoin the circuit whilst they've been taking the escape road correctly. The man that won out of that was Luca Franca. He finds himself up into 3rd place. Gerardo down to 4th. Adrian Schim has had his work cut out for him in this race. He's been trying so hard and he's been getting pushed into absolutely every corner. So Adrian Schim remains in 2nd place. Luca Franca up into 3rd. Gerardo down to 4th. And now we've got David Pouget fighting away, trying to work his way back even closer to that top 3. Luca Franca to the inside of Adrian Schim, trying to fill the mirrors and force the mistake from the young Spaniard. David Pouget now to the inside of Gerardo as they head towards Worth. Are we going to see a change of position for what is 4th place? Gerardo now has to remain in 4th. David Pouget can't quite work his way through and past, bouncing over the curbs goes Luca Franca. So let's see that again. Gerardo on the brakes as late as possible, and Adrian Schim says no, slams the door in his face, and ends up rejoining. He didn't take the escape road correctly. That might be looked at, as Adrian Schim should in theory have to go behind the bollard if you have to cut that corner, but he didn't cut the bollard that time through. So Adrian Schim may be under investigation by race control come the end of this race. Gabriele Torelli blissfully unaware of everything that is going on behind him. Adrian Schim still fighting away with Luca Franca. And Anthony Gerardo has dropped a little way back from that top 3 now. David Pouget not far away. Nicolas Milan, I mentioned him a few moments ago in 7th place. He's up into 6th and on the coattails of David Pouget for 5th. So we may still see more changing in that top 5 with 4.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go at the final race of the season in the 2023 Clio Cup Series. Gabriele Torelli 6.5 seconds clear. Adrian Schim still under pressure from Luca Franca. They're side by side as they head down towards turn 1. Luca Franca jumps back into the aerodynamic assistance, trying to force the door open on the inside, jumps to the outside, late on the brakes. There's not quite the overlap he would like. Gerardo is still sat there in 4th. We're seeing a brilliant battle further back. That is between the 101 of Thomas Packard and star of the show yesterday, Jordi Palomera, sat there in 7th. So we could see yet more changes. Car number 1 has been given a driving standards black and white warning flag. That is for Anthony Gerardo. So potentially contact with Adrian Schim down in towards turn 1. Jordi Palomera going defensive from Thomas Packard down in towards Repsol. They remain in the order that they are at the moment. Pierre Renault, after a brilliant race yesterday, isn't doing too bad either. We've got black and orange flag naturally number 25. That is Alexandre Albouy, and namely because the front of his car is rather second hand, and he will have to come into the pit lane. He will have 3 laps to serve that. We've got over 3 laps time remaining, I think, by the time he saw that. So Torelli's still leading quite substantially. Adrian Schim doing very, very well indeed. Luca Franca, he's now back under pressure from Anthony Gerardo. David Pouget has had his attentions taken away from the race of the road and is trying to bear in mind Nicolas Milan is getting closer. Gerardo this time to the inside of Luca Franca, who has a look at the inside of Adrian Schim all at the same time. They head into the hairpin, absolutely nose to tail. Adrian Schim is doing what he can to pull away from the battles behind, and it's sort of working for the moment. It just takes one small mistake, and there we almost saw Gerardo up the inside of Luca Franca. Just a little bit of contact between the pair of them. The door remains closed for Anthony Gerardo. There's some brilliant battles going on in the mid-pack, but you can't take your eyes off Adrian Schim and everybody else thereafter. Back over the line, 6.6 seconds clear is Gabriele Torelli. Adrian Schim crosses the line with Luca Franca getting closer. Thomas Packard is starting to put more and more pressure on Jordi Palomera as they cross the line as well. That battle is for 7th place. Adrian Schim goes so defensive, jumps to the inside of pit exit, trying to defend from Luca Franca. Luca Franca did everything he could to be late on the brakes, and he's still trying to find a way through and past. He now looks to the outside on the very aptly named right-hander at Renault. He gives it a go, but can't quite edge the door open, and he can't quite work his way through and past as of yet, as we've got, what, 2 laps, potentially 3 still remaining. It all depends on where Trelli is in relation to the timer. David Pouget under ever more pressure now from Nicolas Milan. We could still see changes there. A big moment for Adrian Schimpf. Is that going to allow Luca Franco up the inside? No, it's not. So Gerardo, a bit of contact as well. He tries to dive his way up the inside of Luca Franco and force the door open. It doesn't work. Luca Franco dives to the inside of Adrian Schimpf, who manages to just about sneak his way over. So Adrian Schimpf somehow remains in second place. Luca Franco under pressure from Gerardo now for third, and there's still contact between the pair of them. Absolutely nothing between Gerardo and Franco. Adrian Schimpf has got away with that one quite lightly. David Pouget still under pressure from Nicolas Milan. Will be watching this happen up the road, and the last thing he will want is to be slowed down by any of these battles. Gerardo to the extreme left, and he dives to the inside of Luca Franco. Can't get the door open. That will compromise his apex speed and potentially allow him to work his way through. And Gael Rostand is in the gravel and potentially stuck. Vinny Schunke was involved as well, so we may have seen contact between Gael Rostand and Vinny Schunke. And with 25 seconds of the race remaining plus 1 lap, Gabriele Torelli comes over the line now, and the safety car is being deployed. Are we going to finish in the safety car? We've got 2 laps remaining, so Gael Rostand, after contact with Vinny Schunke, means he finds himself stuck in the gravel, and the safety car has come out behind Torelli. So we're going to try and figure out what's going on. Torelli is slowing down. Very clever driving from Gabriele Torelli. Saw was supposed to come out, slowed down straight away, and maybe a bit of miscue there, because Torelli's trying to give enough room to let the safety car through. The safety car joins behind Adrian Schimpf. There is Gael Rostand. Jim would be furious being not able to finish the final race of the season. To figure out what's going on with the safety car, whether the safety car has managed to get in front of Adrian Schimpf from Gabriele Torelli, or is remaining behind, because can't see him there. Torelli and Adrian Schimpf doing what race drivers would do and just pull away. So whereabouts is the safety car? The safety car has picked up Anthony Gerardo and not the race leader. So there's been some sort of miscue there. Into the pit lane now comes the number 25. So Alexander Alboui, with a lot of damage on that car, carried on for as long as he was able, but unfortunately he will play no further part in this race with the damage that he's got. Gael Rostand is being towed out of the gravel on top of the safety car, and race leader Torelli still being followed by Adrian Schimpf. So there is Gabriele Torelli. Up the inside goes Gerardo and almost spins Adrian Schimpf. This was earlier on. That's what dropped Nicolas Milan further down through the order. Then we see the number 33 of Michael Fay getting into the wars as well. We did very shortly see Damiano Pugetti up there and fighting away. Joaquin Rodrigo got a little bit out of shape, and that meant that the number 33 of Michael Fay collided into the side of that car. Unfortunately, also unable to respond in time was that car there, Alexander Alboui, that's being very hastily repaired. Lots of, or dubious amounts of tape being applied, and he will get out there, and he's very much a fan favourite. Everybody clapping and cheering him on. The safety car has now got in front of Gabriele Torelli and Adrian Schimpf. The lights are still on. Are we going to finish the race in the safety car, or are we going to get one more racing lap completed? It will be a very, very late call from the safety car if it's coming in this time, because as it disappeared behind the trees, the lights are still on, and it comes around the final corner to go on to the final lap, so you suspect this race will be finished under safety car, which is so unfortunate, as the clock ticks to 0, and it says 1 lap remaining. Now the final lap, so we are going to finish the race under safety car, I'm afraid. And that means Gabriele Torelli will be taking the win. Yes, race finished behind the safety car, so Torelli does take the win, but David Pouget, there in 4th place, he's done everything he needs to be a double champion this season. He's won the Clio Cup Series, and as of confirmed results, I'm sure we will get provisional results at the moment, of course. Everything can still be investigated. David Puget on paper should be your Clio Cup Europe champion, as well as, I think, your Clio Cup France champion as well, because Nicolas Milin is sat behind him in 5th place. So we could see a triple champion this crowned in just one season. 2023 Clio Cup Series does go the way of David Puget, which we announced at Imola just a couple of weeks ago, and we now believe, of course provisionally, David Puget will be not only your Clio Cup Series champion, not only your Clio Cup Europe champion, but your Clio Cup France champion as well. Of course, he will score points for Clio Cup France in his final race. Gabriele Torelli, your 2023 Clio Cup Mid-Europe champion. Adrian Schimpf, he's had a very successful season, and I think that means he will secure ever further points. Florian Venturi is your Clio Cup France Challengers Cup winner. As of Jeremy Bordeaux, he is sat there in 19th place, and where's Leonard Vigueur? He is just ahead, so I think Jeremy Bordeaux will win the Racers Cup in Clio Cup France. Clio Cup Italia has already been won by Luca Franca. Italian results have been confirmed. Challengers Cup was won by Matteo Lancelotti, and the Racers Cup also by Luca Franca. Clio Cup Mid-Europe, as we mentioned, won by Torelli. The Mid-Europe Challengers Cup by Nikola Milkovic. Clio Cup Mid-Europe Racers Cup was by René Stimet. And as of Clio Cup España, which I think I hastily scrolled past, Jeremy Bordeaux will win the Racers Cup because Alejandro Romero, whereabouts is he? I can't see him on the timing, so I suspect Alejandro Romero is a little bit further down or has retired. And let's have a look. Can't see him there, unfortunately. Adrian Schimpf will be the Challengers Cup champion for Clio Cup España, and I suspect your Clio Cup Spain champion as well. So the safety car lights go off, so the drivers can come to the line at racing speed. Of course, no overtaking before the line, but the final race of the season will go the way of Gabriele Torelli. He makes it 2 from 2 towards the line. Potentially we could see a change. Has Girardo worked his way through fast? I'd have thought there would have been no overtaking before they get towards the checkered flag. However, Girardo has been classified in 2nd place, so Torelli takes the win ahead of what is on the timing. Anthony Girardo picking up 2nd place. Adrian Schimpf picks up 3rd. David Puget crosses the line in 4th, followed by Nicolas Milin. Jordi Balomera in 6th place, followed by Thomas Peccar and Pierre Bredol. Florian Peruga did finish in 8th, and we'll bring some provisional results to you in just a few moments' time. And I guess Adrian Schimpf isn't too happy with that one. He's bouncing over the curve, trying to work his way through and past Girardo, and GPA Racing congratulating each other as they have a champion, a triple champion in fact, a triple champion from the 2023 Clio Cup Series in the way of David Puget. Not only did he win the Clio Cup Series itself, he won Clio Cup Europe, and he's also won Clio Cup France. Gabriele Torelli, after finishing in the lead, of course just scored ever further points, but couldn't do much in the way of dethroning David Puget. Look for the line there, you might have heard it in the background. That was Alexandre Albouy. He is a fan favourite, running around on his own, hastily repaired, but the fans cheering him right the way until the checkered flag. And number 1 from the investigation of the safety car procedure, that is Anthony Girardo. So we've got to see exactly what went on there, whether that will still be investigated. I'm sure it will. But Gabriele Torelli, joined by his teammate towards the line. Damiano Bocetti, both Italians driving for Rejoignez-nous course. They work their way down the back straight for the final time. What a season it has been for the Clio Cup Series. Of course, we do have to say a massive thank you to all of the partners that Renault bring on board with them, because we simply wouldn't be able to go racing without them, for the likes of Michelin and Castrol, as well. Two of the main sponsors of the series, Michelin providing some fabulous tyres and Castrol fabulous oils and lubricants for all of the teams. This is the replay of the run towards the line. Adrian Schimpf and Girardo absolutely side by side, and I thought we weren't allowed to overtake before the start finish line, but maybe I'm wrong, maybe that is how it's classified. So what has happened? Adrian Schimpf does get given second. Does he go for third? No, he gets third place. So Gerardo has in fact been given second place. No, they haven't. They are changing more boards in the order. There we go. So it has been confirmed. Yes, Adrian Schimpf picks up second place. They swapped the boards around, not quite in the position they were supposed to be. So Adrian Schimpf picks up second place, even though Gerardo beats into the line. Gerardo has been ushered towards the paddock and jumps out of the car furious, and maybe there's something more to go on. Flair's being let off by one of the GPA Racing team members, as I'm sure they cannot wait to celebrate with David Pouget this evening. We do have an awards night this evening, and Gerardo, the body language of Anthony clearly isn't in the best mood as he comes flying towards what I think was Adrian Schimpf. So hopefully all is well down there. You can see a weight off David Pouget's shoulders, and he is more than happy, congratulated by teammate Alex Finkelstein, and by the looks of it, you can hear it in the background, David Pouget having a chat and embracing his partner, over the moon with being triple champion all in 1 year, 3 championships, all crowned by one man. And he's chatting away with Anthony Gerardo by the looks of that. Is that Anthony Gerardo? Yes, it is. And David Pouget can kind of console him a little bit. Gerardo doesn't look too happy, but I think it's heat of the moment and he's trying to congratulate him all at the same time. But Gabriele Torelli, what a way to finish the final round of the season, picking up both race wins and a pole position along the way. With all of the drivers, whether they've had a fabulous weekend or maybe want to forget this weekend, they really do make the Clio Cup Series what it is. And whilst we don't have all of the drivers in attendance this weekend, they have produced a fabulous, fabulous season of racing. Of course, we do have to say a massive thank you to Renault and the Clio Cup Series to go on a fabulous event with Castrol, Michelin and Sabel all in tow, making the Clio Cup Series what it is. There is David Pouget, helmet off for what you'd suspect to be the final time this season, unless he's got some winter outings planned. But David Pouget provided with third place as Gerardo goes back to the paddock. David Pouget has been given third place. Adrian Schimpf remains in second, and as you'd expect, Gabriele Torelli kept the win without too much of an issue. David, what a brilliant character in the paddock as well. He's very, very quick behind the wheel of a Clio Cup car. And hopefully we're able to have a chat with him maybe later on this evening as well at the official Renault Clio Cup Award ceremony. You can see he's over the moon with that. Cannot wait to celebrate with his team. I'm sure it's a massive experience as well, being a triple champion in 1 year. So let's have a look back at some of the highlights of that race. We saw Torelli remain in the lead for a short while. However, he was edged down right out to the edge of the circuit, and Nicolas Milan worked his way into the lead. We saw a spin through 180 degrees, quite an odd incident there for Gael Rostant. Unfortunately, he was laid over the bar in the race later on either. Adrian Schimpf pitched into a spin by Anthony Gerardo. That meant Nicolas Milan ran wide as well. Joaquin Rodrigo spun through 90 degrees, meaning that car number 33 of Michael Fay had nowhere to go. He jumped on the brakes, and then Alessandro Albui couldn't quite respond in time, and that meant that he had to jump on the brakes straight into the back of Michael Fay. And we did see a rather weird incident for car number 43, Damiano Puccetti, the second of the Rejoignez-nous Course cars, finding himself heading in towards the gravel. Adrian Schimpf under pressure from Luca Franco and Anthony Gerardo. There was contact between the pair of them, but Laura, I believe, is down in the pit lane with some of our race winners.
vamos con alguien, si se nos permite todavía mejor. Adrián, enhorabuena, menudo carrerón. Un poco nos ha hecho ver cómo ha sido toda la temporada para vosotros, ¿no?
Bueno, la temporada ha sido de menos a más, y este más es gracias al súper trabajo del equipo, familia que tenemos, que sin ellos nada de esto sería posible. Solo puedo decir gracias a todo el mundo que nos apoya, al equipo, el trabajo de todo el mundo. Vamos a por más.
Ha sido una carrera muy intensa, muy luchada, en la que te ha pasado casi de todo.
Bueno, ha sido una carrera complicada, sí, se nos ha ido la victoria por un toque, pero bueno, me quedo con el ritmo, con la evolución de todo el año y nada, gracias a todo el equipo, un trabajo increíble. Gracias.
Here from Adrian Schimpf. Thank you so much, Laura, for that. Here are the confirmed results. So Gabriele Torelli takes the win ahead of Adrian Schimpf. David Puget finishes in third. Nicola Milan in fourth. Jordi Palomeras in fifth. Thomas Pekar picks up sixth. Pierre Baudot in seventh. Florian Corubner in eighth. And it is Alejandro Schimpf, the second of the Schimpf twins, picks up ninth. And it is Jacopo Giuseppe Jimenez that finishes and rounds out your top 10. We'll have to keep an eye on and figure out exactly where Anthony Girardo finishes. Alex Royal finishes in 11th, followed then by René Stiemetz, Leonardo Vigueur in 13th, Fabio Giulia in 14th, then it is Jean-Louis Bourdegaray, Ludovico Longini in 16th, Julian Bassaray in 17th, Benjamin Corbas in 18th, David Pajot in 19th, and all finishes in 20th place. Good improvement after retirement yesterday. Samuel Chalin finishes in 21st, Calvin Comte in 20th, in 22nd, Anthony Girardo does get demoted down to 23rd, then it is Jean-Louis Composin, Stefan Pullerman, Lydia Sampere, Vinny Schunker, Damiano Puccetti, Florian Venturi, and Luca Franco. Alexander Albui eventually finished in 31st. Alejandro Romero finished a lap down. And the retirees, Gail Rostand, Guillaume Mayo, Cristian Ricciarini, Michael Fay, Joaquin Rodrigo, and unfortunately, Alexander Finkelstein. After what could have been a title-winning race, it all fell apart. Unfortunately. We can only assume further mechanical issues as the drivers are working their way up to the podium. Let's have a look back at what happened throughout the race. Torelli having to run wide through Worth meant that he was on the back foot and lost, 3 places. Nicolas Milan, Adrian Schimpf and Girardo all worked their way past. In the time we were away, Gabriele Torelli worked his way back into the lead, passing Nicolas Milan, Adrian Schimpf and Girardo. Girardo pitched Adrian Schimpf into a spin, which meant that Nicolas Milan washed wide and lost a handful of places. And a little bit further back, we saw ever more action going on once again. Late on the brakes, diving up the inside was kind of a 99 of Guillaume Mayo. He managed to pick the pocket of René Stiemetz. So René Stiemetz down a place. The GM Sport cars ganging up on René Stiemetz in ASD competition there. We did see collecting a bollard, and fortunately there, Damiano Puccetti, he was trying to put the margin so fine and not lose any further places. Late on the brakes, diving up the inside was the number 85 machine. So Benjamin Corbas somehow managing to get that car slowed down by avoiding contact the best way possible. Looking at the podium, I believe we will be ready to go. And we've only got 3 cars down there, so we'll do the overall podium, and naturally they'll be introduced in reverse order. And we await the arrival of Clio Cup Series champion, Clio Cup Europe champion, and Clio Cup France champion, David Puget. He will take that third spot, that third step on the podium in just a few moments' time. And the GPO racing team sat and watching on, ready to congratulate their driver. AST competition, they will, I'm sure, be celebrating in style this evening. They always put on a show in the paddock, and it'd be great to see how they celebrate Adrian and Alejandro Schimpf and Lydia Semper's, and also Stefan Polderman's efforts throughout this season. AST competition really do put on a brilliant show in the paddock, and René Stiemetz, I'm sure, will be there as well with the rest of the AST team. We just wait for the podium to be readied. It looks like we're about there. Maybe we're still trying to herd a couple of the drivers, and the announcer comes out, so we can only assume we are about ready. And now we wait for David Puget to come out after a brilliant race, a brilliant 2023 season. David Puget takes the third step on the podium, and what a season it has been. 3 championships in one season. David Puget over the moon. You can see him struggling to direct the excitement into all one place. Finishing in second place with, I imagine, one of the loudest cheers is Adrian Schimpf. He takes second place overall in the final race of the season. with it, the Clio Cup champion. And the Clio Cup Mid-Europe champion for 2023, the double winner this weekend, it is Gabriele Torelli. Now it is time for whether we get trophies first or national anthem. I'd imagine it will be the trophies. We wait for the trophies to return. We do get a representative from the course onto the podium, of course, that means Torelli's team. And now it is time for the national anthem with the winning driver. So another cheer once again from the crowd, and Gabriele Torelli picks up another win, and we will get the final podium presentation underway. So the third place trophy goes the way of David Bouget, and I'm sure his trophy cabinet is rather substantial after his 2023 campaign. And he's a very busy man, is David Bouget. He runs multiple businesses. He runs a race team, GPA Racing, which is a very strong outfit, not only in the Clio Cup Series, but also in the GT4 Series throughout Europe and the world as well. Adrian Schimpf picks up another trophy once again, second overall, and once again, Gabriele Torelli, no stranger to the top step of the podium, picks up another trophy, but also another trophy will go the way of Rejoignez-nous after a massively successful season from those guys as well. But whilst it is goodbye 2023, the Clio Cup Series is already thinking about 2024. We've already got so much planned. Of course, we are using the next generation, in theory, of car. Whilst we're running the Gen 5 now, it's almost the Gen 5.5. We are running the facelift Clio next season, so keep an eye out on all of the social media platforms that the Clio Cup Series will run on, which is, of course, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Apple, X, TikTok as well. So keep an eye out on all of the Clio Cup Series Facebook and social media pages. There's more will be announced in regards to next year. But from myself, Jack Werrell, and I'm sure the rest of the commentary team this season, we have David Addison, Adam Weller, just to name a couple. Thank you so much for watching along. We will see you all in 2024. Bye for now.
El Team GPA, el equipo que suba sin hacer la celebración.